Hello everyone. My name is Ferran. I'm founder and CEO of the company Wireless. Wireless is an IT company specialized in Wi-Fi. And I'm going to tell you something about identity design for stadiums. In one specific use case we did that 2 years ago. So I hope you already have some energy again for the break. Before I go to the next slide, or to dive into the identity design, I want to show you a picture of our 5th year company anniversary event some days ago. And we had a special guest. Maybe some of you know him, but it's Kees Links. And he's one of the founders of Wi-Fi, the previous WLA technology. And he came by to inspire us with his story, the history of Wi-Fi. So yeah, it was really great for us and my team. And also here you see the first WLA card in this frame. It was the real one, so not a picture. So it was very cool to see where the Wi-Fi came from. And also to see where it goes in Wi-Fi 10. So yeah, a lot of innovation. So identity, Wi-Fi design. We have a lot of clients in the same place. I think a lot of these clients do not even have Wi-Fi, but you get it. From Meraki, they say high density Wi-Fi design. A lot of clients. It's a design strategy for large deployments, and that's what we have in the stadium. What we did is for one of our customers, they asked us to do the Wi-Fi design for one of the biggest soccer team stadiums in the Netherlands. I'm not really allowed to say the name, but it's the one who's the most negative in the news lately, so we can have a good guess. But it's, we have a place for 55,000 fans, so it's a really big environment. Johan Cruyff once said, soccer is simple, but it's difficult to play simple. Same as a little bit for identity. It's not that difficult to design a high-density network. If you have the right numbers, do the correct process, then it's quite easy. But to get everything work in the end, that's quite difficult. I will not deep dive in all the technical details. I just want to go with me on a journey where we can share our tips and tricks, what can break or make a good project. And in the end, it's about great user experience, what the fans will have. So where did we start? Of course, we have to get some requirements from the customer. What do they want? But in most of these cases, they don't know what they want. They want Wi-Fi. That's it. So it's up to you as an engineer or consultant to help them, to share your experience, to see what they can do with the Wi-Fi network and what it will cost, how it will turn out. So you have to help them with the requirements. And important is to know, just in the beginning, who is all involved. Do we have an installation company? Because we come back on that later, so it will be very important. Do they already have a Wi-Fi network that we can use the data from? It's really good to know, but also for if you look to the marketing side, what do we want to do with the Wi-Fi? Some marketing aspects beyond it. So that's all good to know in the beginning before you start. And there's a lot of lessons learned, and, especially in the stadium designs. What you have to do is you cannot create a Wi-Fi network as it should be. You have a long distance from the client. It's very difficult, so you have to make the best of the last, let's say it like that. So what we did for this specific case is a site survey of the current situation. And I tried to put in some more pictures, but my Ekahau on my laptop did not have the right processor power for all this data. But we did, I think my colleague there, look here, with his sports shoes running around the stadium, did a lot of site surveys and based on the old scenario, the old Wi-Fi network. And what we saw is, of course, the signal strength and a lot more information. But what we learned from it is about the mounting positions, if we can reuse them, and that's really important to know. They were using an old technology on Wi-Fi 4, so if they upgrade to Wi-Fi 6 or to Wi-Fi 7, it already get a lot better. But the amount of positions must be good. And I say that because we can start designing a new network based on all the floor plans, but the problem is, if we give that to the customer and say, here you have to place all the access points, they say, yeah, we cannot have cables there, the cables are too long, for safety reasons we cannot place the APs there. You already get to a bunch of problems where you have to redesign it. So we try to turn it around and to see if we can learn from the old situation and use that as lessons learned for the new design. And it also helps a lot in the cost for the customer, because if we can reuse existing mounting positions, already cable is there, it will save them a lot of cost. So here on the right side, you see some APs above in the stadium, and you see some signal propagation from it. It was, in some places it was okay, in some places we saw APs done completely nothing. Most of the time because of the antennas were placed on metal constructions, too much reflections, and we're not getting the signal on the right place near the fence. So that was our lessons learned. And what we did as next step is to create requirement profiles, because we have like the soccer field and all the grandstands of the fence, but you have also inside a lot of event areas, restaurant areas, etc., press areas, you name it. They all require different use of the Wi-Fi network, so you have to set up different use requirement profiles and slice the whole stadium in small parts. And each part you will give the right requirement. And from that part, we try to create a design, but also create a draft kit list as soon as possible, so that the customer can already place a draft order for all the APs, because if you're talking about this amount of APs, it takes a lot of time to get it. So if you wait to get the final design, it will take too much time in delivering all the APs and in delivering the project. So it's good to know, quite in front of the project, to know what kind of APs you want to order and the amount. And it can change later. If it's some more or less, it's less painful than you have to wait a couple of months longer. Then we came to a point that we had our lessons learned from the old network. We made a new design based on that information, and we have to see how we can make the Wi-Fi better, make the positions better. So what we did, we created our own test setup. You see on the left. We make a pole with the AP, with the antenna, and make it very secure. Because when you are on 25 meters high and it falls down, they will not be happy. So we created a test setup, and we did not do the whole stadium, just on some specific points. We did some measurements and to see if we have to adjust our predictive design. A little bit how Joel in the beginning said from Hamina. So that same process we follow, and at some point we use AP on the stick, also to see if the signal propagation is right. Besides that, it's very important to make a lot of photos, because it's so extremely big. You need that information. If you come to the office and you think, how was this? And you have to drive back to the stadium, you lose a lot of time, so make a lot of photos. Then the other part, what was we learned a lot from it, was the documentation. If you have like 1,000 APs and you have to adjust something in your documentation, you have to do that 1,000 times. It's really a lot of time consuming. Besides that, it's important to keep it simple for also the installer, but also for the people who are going to configure the Wi-Fi network. You have to keep the documentation simple, but also have to think what you're going to deliver. This is just an example on how, on the part of documentation, how we deliver it, so the installer can easily see how we can adjust the antennas in the right angle, and to have a good overview of the situation. What we also did, and it's really important to do, is to go together with the installer to see how they do the installation, not for all the APs, but for some of them, to see if they understand it correctly. Because if they go into a hoofwerker, the cherry picker, if you go up in the high cherry picker and you have to do that like 200, 300 times and it's not good, you say, you have to adjust the angle for 10 degrees more, they will not be happy. And it will cost extra time, extra money. So it's really good to check that. And good to know for this customer, what we did is to, the old access points antennas was really high above the metal constructions, and we try to put them more down, more to the fence. We validate that, and in the end we deliver a final kit list and documentation. Then channel and radio planning. You see here some 2.4 gigahertz channels. Don't be afraid, we did not use them. We use as much channels as possible, and we split the stadium in sections so that the specific amount of fans will be connected to a specific AP. It was very, when you design it, when you validate it, in the end, when there is a match, you hope that it will perform, and we're happy that it do perform. But then the moment came that you have to collect a lot of data, you have to validate, optimize again and again to get the right results. And when everything is working out, the customer is happy, the fans are happy, and they can use the Wi-Fi for even more different functionality. Another thing to mention is the Wi-Fi management tool, where you configure the Wi-Fi network. It's also good to know, we did not configure this Wi-Fi network, we only design it. So we can get all the documentation, give it to them. If they have manually take over all the channels, it makes it very hard for them. So also in the beginning, try to check with them how they want all the configuration information so that they can easily deploy it. Give some examples. On the left side, we see the situation it was before and after the new design and the new antennas, new technology, and lowering the APs and antennas, we get this pattern. We still have to do it for the whole stadium, but here you see some parts we already did. To sum it all up, it's very important to define a mini goal with the customer, use a combination of experience, knowledge, and common sense, and really do it with the whole team, with the installers, with all the stakeholders. Otherwise, you will fail the project. Start with testing, with the draft kit list, as I said before, and keep everything simple and smart, so that everyone understands this and know what to do. Keep validating, stay in communication with all the stakeholders, and in the end, keep monitoring the Wi-Fi user experience. And I think the next speaker will tell you everything about that. So that's my story. That's what we did with our team, and our tips and tricks we want to share with you. Thank you. Maybe some more questions?
Yeah. Well, with your designs per stadium, what's the sort of take rate specifically for that model where you've got 55,000 seats? What's the take rate of how many clients you see on game day?
I see Ronald just leave the building. We were not that much involved when everything was up and running, so we still want to do a site survey, but something with chat and everything. But what I hear is that the number of clients that are connected are not that much. So on an average game, around 2,000 or 3,000 connected devices. That's not that much. But they have also some music effects with Metallica. They had around 60,000 connected clients, and they have an average up and down from 200. So that's really a lot.
It also depends on if you have 14 stadium or not. You could tell from
yeah. if you watch a game, you will see the 4G antennas. They are like this big, and the Wi-Fi antennas a quarter of it. But you, because below them, you see the 4G Wi-Fi, 4G Wi-Fi, and there's some more spots where they are. But,
So how many users per radio did you design this one?
Oh, good questions. I think max 50.
The reason I said it is because we did a people station as well, which was about 35,000. And before 4G was implemented, it was about 10,000 people connected on the Wi-Fi, and you saw it drop to about 6, 7 on the telephone recording. So I'm assuming less. So it depends probably on how much 4G coverage there is.
Correct. And what I hear from Ronald, we designed for a Huawei network, so that's why Ronald was more the numbers in the end than me. What I heard is that they want to push more users to Wi-Fi, and they have some contact with ESPN to see playbacks live only on Wi-Fi, not on 4G. They're trying to see how they get more users. Yeah.
Was it open network, or did you have a guest portal?
Good question. It's a open network with a captive portal behind it. Yeah. You want to have as much airtime as possible, so to have the overhead is low. So there's no type of authentication, just overhead. Okay. Thank you.
You said the fans were happy. Yo, sir, are you happy with Wi-Fi? Or are you skipping the games right now?
I'm skipping.
You're skipping the games? I would do that too.
Was it the Wi-Fi or?
The next presentation.